Hey guys, it's JonTaun from Total Brohammer. Today I'm going to be bringing you a Bretonnia game in Warhammer 2 Quick Battles. Alright, so, as most people know nowadays, Bretonnia is the weakest faction out there, and hopefully they'll be getting some buffs in the January patch that will bring the Tomb Kings. But we will see. Decided I'd try them out though, see if I can get a good game, just because I don't have very many Bretonnia games up. So let's go over army compositions. In the front, I've got 2 peasant mob. I've got a front line of 5 foot squires, sorry, with the guerrilla quay in the center, as well as 2 men-at-arms with polearms, 1 on each flank. Besides that, I've got a peasant bowman with box arrows in the back, the Fay Enchantress, and 3 guerrilla knights. For my opponent, who is Chaos, he's got 2 Chaos Warhounds with poison, some dragon ogres. He's got 3 marauders with throwing axes. He's got 3 Chaos Marauders, and his front, well, I guess his secondary line is 2 Chaos Warriors, a Chosen, and 2 Forsaken on the flanks. For his lord, he's got the mighty Sigvald the Magnificent, looking dashing as always, and he's got a Chaos Sorcerer of Death on a Hellsteed. So, let's do it. So, I see he's coming around here with all his Marauder Horsemen, so I'm going to get my archers ready to respond, and I'm just going to have my men-at-arms with polearms and my peasant mob ready to start taking fire from them, as they are, they're my, less important units. But I'm thinking that these peasant bowmen are going to be able to do some good damage against these lowly armored marauders, especially with their long range. So I see he has nothing to respond to a charge over here, so I'm going to go over here and get a free charge with my Grail Knights. And as you can see, I do about 33% damage on 1 charge. So I'm seeing that his Dragon Ogres are way back here, so I'm like, well, let's go get another free charge with these Grail Knights. Now he's moving both his Hounds over this side, and I'm thinking about going for a 3rd free charge, but I'm like, all these Hounds are over here, I better keep these Grail Knights around in case these Hounds try to get into melee. So I'm going to get another charge on these guys, and I'm going to come in and charge on these guys as well. He is going to drop a Fay Enchantress, to which I'm going to respond with a regrowth, but still going to do a lot of damage. Seeing that these Forsaken have gone up a little farther than they should have, I'm going to collapse on them with my Grail Knights, both groups. But this group, I do misclick, and they just walk into Forsaken, so they're just going to take a lot of damage. Look at how much damage that Fay Enchantress is. So we're just going to try to pull out of there now, because his Dragon Ogres are coming into support. So I've been able to scare off these Marauder Horsemen, and these Marauder Horsemen are just wasting their shots on these Halberds and these Peasant Mob. So I'm going to start engaging along the front line soon. So I'm having a hard time getting out here, so I'm going to send these peasant mobs to intercept all their models here so these guys can pull out better. I'm going to keep on retreating right here, and that's going to draw these Forsaken into these mid-arm with polearms, but honestly that's a bad trade for me, and it was not intentional to bring those Forsaken over there. So I'm going to get a charge to the front line here now that his Marauder Horsemen have fallen back a little bit, but as soon as they come back I'm going to get out of there. And I'm going to keep on shooting at them with my box arrows. So these peasant mob fall to these Chaos Warhounds with poison pretty quick, and these halberds are sent in to respond, but I don't think Chaos Warhounds with poison actually count as large. So these guys are going to get messed up by those Warhounds with poison as well as the Marauder Fire. But I'd rather, if he's using those throwing axes, which are armor piercing on anything, I'd rather them be on my mid-arms with polearms. So he sent his Dragon Ogres into the front line, so I did a nice charge with my Grail Knights, and I overcast an Earthblood on this big group right here. So I'm just going to keep on cycle charging with these guys, and I'm going to cycle in on these Chaos Warhounds with poison, do quite a bit of damage. They are going to run, but since they're running, I'm going to turn around and charge into the rear of these Chaos Warriors. Over here, these guys Chosen fighting 2 groups of foot squires, so we'll see how they do. They are getting a little bit of support from these Marauders over here. And I do drop a comment over here. I forget what it's called for the Fay Enchantress. She has a bound one, and it's called something else, but essentially it's a Common Cast a door, not Overcast. He's going to drop another Fay Enchantress on these guys and get his Dragon Ogres get in here and hit them in the rear, which is a really good play. I'm going to drop a regrowth and start pulling them back. Hopefully he'll get caught on my mid-arm with polearms over here. And as you can see, I'm just cycle charging everywhere I can. And look at these Chosen. They are just carving through these foot squares, and they are not doing that much damage. I did have some charges in on them, so that's why they're down to half now, but they are winning that decisively. So with all the threats over here fended off for now, I'm going to have my box arrows start shooting into these Chaos Warriors and get my Halberdiers into the rear. I'm going to do another charge over here. And again, I'm just charging through my own lines, because if I go around into the rear, I'm just going to get destroyed by those marauders with throwing axes. So I don't feel as though I can get all the way around and start doing some cycle charging. I think that would be a bad idea. And while cycle charging through my own lines is much less effective as far as damage output, it's going to keep my Grill Knights alive. So I'm going to do another charge here, and I think I'm focusing on the Dragon Ogres here, but if I do miss, I'm going to drop another Earthblood and try to do another cycle charge. He's going to make a mistake here. He's going to actually pull his Dragon Ogres and try to chase my Grail Knights, and that's going to be a bad idea for him. So over here I'm doing more charging with these guys, trying to break these Chaos Warriors as they destroy these men-at-arms with polearms. At least my men-at-arms with polearms have, at least they have armor piercing. So I'm just fending off his hounds and his marauder horsemen with these box arrows over here, and that's working pretty well. So he sent his Dragon Ogres back here, so I just had my Grail Knights collapse on him, but he is going to drop another Fate of Being, and I do not have a regrowth to respond to that one. So that's going to be really bad for me. So over in the front line, I'm kind of winning the front line. I mean, the Forsaken won on their side. But against these Chaos Warriors and these Marauders and Sigvald, my Fist Warriors are doing pretty good with the support of these men-at-arms. Still not a very cost-effective trade. We are able to take out these Dragon Ogres, and now it's just time to do some charges into all their infantry in the front line. Thankfully, he's not using his Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes the most effectively. I'm going to get charging on these Forsaken, who are kind of split off, and I'm going to pull back again. So, cycle charging is the name of the game here. And one of the reasons I think that Grail Knights are so strong is because I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard it from several different people. Now, don't ask me their names, I don't remember them. I just hear it around the watering hole every once in a while, that the vigor on cavalry got nerfs, and that's why cavalry from the first game and cavalry in general don't seem quite as effective. The thing about Grail Knights is that they have, let's see right here, perfect vigor, so they are immune to that, and that's another reason why the Synagores are so good as well. So there's some food for thought there. Honestly, I think that vigor nerf should be redacted. So I'm going to drop another comment over here, and he sends his Deathcaster back here. Probably, after 3 Fate of Benos, he's probably out of magic. I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, he did bring Spirit Leech, so we never used any of those. And I think it was a good idea not to, because I just have healing. So why even Spirit Leech? But, charging over here, trying to break these, what are these guys? Chaos Warriors and Marauders over here. They're just fighting peasants, and they are winning, thankfully. With the support of these Grail Knights and these Box Arrows, we were able to beat them all. I'm going to send the Fay Enchantress to start draining on these Chosen over here. And I'm going to charge in on all his Marauders with throwing axes, trying to finish off that Chaos Sorcerer of Death. But he's just going to pull back. I'm going to try to pull back as well, but my guys are going to take some shots, lose some models, and they are going to retreat, I believe. So Sigvald is able to rout off all my foot squires here, and at this point it's so close. It could go either way. I mean, he's got a strong pocket over here. Sigvald's at full health, but I'm able to beat off this flank, but I'm much worse for wear, I think, than him. Fortunately, I do have Grail Knights left, and Grail Knights are really, really powerful. I mean, they're the Dragon Princes for the Bretonnia. Except, probably better than Dragon Princes. They definitely beat them. I mean, they have anti-lock. Yeah, they're better than Dragon Princes for sure, I think. Especially with that perfect vigor. So I'm pulling back all my units over here, and I'm just going to get everybody to go on to Sigvald. And I do make a mistake. I let Sigvald get in my Guerrero League. I should have just had this out of combat, just supporting. But he's able to almost kill there. So at this point, he's almost out of ammo, so I'm going to charge in with all my Grail Knights. And we're going to do some really good damage. He's going to counter charge over here, and my guys actually are losing on the charge, which is very unfortunate for me. He's got some Forsaken chasing the Fay Enchantress. I'm shooting him up with my Pox arrows. And I'm going to get her into combat so she can start using her Drain. So he's got his Sorcerer of Death back, and I'm going to try to get these Grail Knights over here to go after them. But these guys are in my way. Thankfully, these guys are able to get free with only 3 models. I'm going to make sure they route this Chaos Sorcerer of Death off all the way. So I got all my infantry just piling up on Sigvald. As you can see, they're pretty much doing no damage as Sigvald has healing. And they're just men-at-arms with polearms and peasant mob. He's going to get some good cycle charging with his Marauder Marauder horsemen with throwing axes, but now I have the rest of my troops coming in here. So his Chaos Sorcerer did come back for a moment, but we're going to have my guys just make sure it gets to shattering, and it does, so I'm going to pull back these guys in a moment. I am able to rout off his Chaos Marauder with throwing axes pretty soon here. They are going to get some good charges. Basically, if he keeps this guy, there's no way I can win, because he's just going to cycle charge my infantry until they rout. Thankfully, though, I do have this Great Leak in close support, and this time I make sure not to bring it into the battle with Prince Sigvald, because one hit and it is dead. So I'm going to do some cycle charging with the Fay Enchantress and these Grail Knights, and we're just going to try to bring down the mighty Sigvald. He's pretty much all that's left right now. I mean, he's got his Chosen have come back, but I'm going to send those 3 Knights over there to finish them off, and they're just going to shatter. And that'll happen in a moment. So while all my guys are grouped up right here, I do drop an Overcasted Earthblood on them. I haven't used any magic in a while, so I did have some built up. I'm just going to keep on cycle charging with these Grail Knights and the Fay Enchantress. So we can go ahead and fast forward through that. Basically, I don't have any good single target killing power. So what I'm trying to do here is get Sigvald's morale down. But as you can see, he's standing pretty strong here. I'm going to get another Earthblood Overcast off. And eventually I'm like, well, Sigvald can probably beat my whole army. Let's just send everything in and see who wins this one. To my surprise, the Grail Knights are actually doing really good damage to him. And that does drop his morale. So, it is a victory for the Bretonnians. Who would have guessed? Alright, so let's look at this breakdown screen here. The Foot Squires pretty much got wrecked. The Pox Arrows were really useful at fending off those Hounds and those Marauder groups. And of course the MVPs here were the Grail Knights. 79 kills, 70, 118. They didn't do the best, but and those Fate Avinos really hurt them. But they came through for me in the end. On his side, the MVP was definitely Prince Sigvald and the Chosen. Those guys beat 2 Foot Squires almost single-handedly. They had a little bit of support, and they got charged a couple times, so that's pretty great. And his Marauder Horsemen, these guys had the potential to destroy my Grail Knights, but fortunately for me, he wasn't able to get very many shots on my Grail Knights just because of me keeping them behind my lines. And that's why I didn't flank around and try to go behind him, because then I'd be open to all those Marauder with throwing axes, and they do indeed do armor piercing damage, so they would just destroy my Grail Knights. But anyway, guys, a good game to my opponent Buzzkill, and that's going to be all for this one. This is JonTaun for Brohammer signing out.